Are we live?
Looks like it.
Are we live?
I believe so.
That's good. That's good. Nicholas, you are not the only athlete on this podcast.
Oh,
And dare I say, I mean, I don't want to be too braggadocious, but you might be outgunned. You
oh
might be
wow.
you might be outshined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I don't mean I don't know what
you missed the chance at a good pun there.
I
Outshined.
did.
Yeah. Come on, man.
I don't know if you won much at Northwestern. I mean, the fact that you're doing a podcast with me would tell you not much. But you're looking at the, second time in a row, right? Top Golf, third place, league. Look at that, huh? Look at that.
I live by one rule, Joe. If you ain't first, you're last. Just that's how I.
You've been
So
last a
we're
lot.
both last. Yeah, we're both last. So
yeah, but we got some cool swag. But with that said, Nicholas, it is a hot, steamy day out there today. It's a great day to sit in some air conditioning, turn on the YouTube, crank up the volume, baby,
and rip that knob off.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and listeners of all ages, Geeks Worldwide Radio and the Dork Shared Universe proudly present to you the greatest, and I mean the greatest, podcasting team in the world. He's the comic book writer, Nick Friar. I'm the kidney stone kid, backcracker, Dr. Joe, and together we are the TLDR Comic Book Club. Baby, got through it, Nicholas.
Yeah, well done, and congrats on your gear that you and Shime won in your Top Golf stuff. I am very happy.
He was huge. We
All
needed him last 2
aside.
weeks. He was a fill-in player, and now is
wow!
when the fall league starts, will become a full-time player. So
look
great
at
to have Shime aboard. Yeah.
Shime time getting the call up. Look at that. That's awesome. What's even more awesome though is what's coming for all TLDR listeners throughout July. You guys know that we take care of you, and we've told you many a time, and for those who are new, it's another reminder. If you haven't already, if you're finding us on one of our streams, whether that's Instagram, whether that's on Twitter, YouTube, make sure you subscribe to one of our audio channels. It is the only place you can find our Friar Side chats. And again, for those who are new, those are conversations with creators across the industry. Generally, that means writers for us. We do mix in as many artists as we can, but also they tend to be more busy. The writers have to do a little bit more of the marketing. I mean, some could argue the artists are the most effective with their marketing because they just do the covers and it kicks ass. But we always say, subscribe to the channels because that's when you'll get the conversations delivered right to your listening device. You won't need to follow us on social. But because we never know when those conversations are going to happen. But we do know that in July we are going to have a fuck ton of stuff for you guys. It is going to be Christmas in July. That is, I believe that's a song, Joe, right? If I'm not mistaken, something like that, or it's been sung about. It's some made up thing, but we're making it fucking real for TLDR listeners. We are going to have a Friar Side chat for 4 of the 5 weeks throughout the month of July. We're going to be talking to creators who we've talked to before, and I believe one creator in that mix who we haven't talked to before, but is part of a team that we've dealt with before. But yeah, we're very excited. We got 2 individual chats, a couple team chats, and then we will mix in the August Solicit throughout the month at some point as well. So make sure you subscribe to one of our audio channels because that's the only way you're going to be able to listen to those. You won't be able to access that. And also, because Joe and I are both going to be venturing all across the globe throughout the month of July, we're not going to be doing any What's New because we're both going to be out and about, with the exception of that 1 week where we're going to be doing the August Solicit. When we come back in August, we will be doing TLDR 100. I don't know if it'll be that very first week back, but we are going to absolutely do that. We will know by the time that we do the August Solicit, which we haven't done one of those in a long time. We're going to mix in back-to-back months. So I'm pretty happy about that, Joe.
There's a good chance too. We don't even get to TLDR 100 in August. There's some pies in the oven that could between we basically what this amounts to, folks, is that we got a lot of these things in the can already. We just don't feel like fucking working in July, so we're just gonna just put out pre-recorded content for you.
That is not it at all. We are seriously, Joe has vacations and I have a vacation as well. So we're going to be unable to mix in or what's new on a consistent basis. So we'd rather just give you a bunch of Friar side chats. Enjoy those. It's going to be for books that are coming out throughout the months. I think one will be coming out in August, if not two. We were trying to land a fifth Friar side chat. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. So that's how it works out kind of perfectly, because then we can kind of sneak in that August solicit. But that is the plan for July. So make sure you subscribe to one of our audio channels. And while you're there, leave a 5-star rating and review. If you can leave a higher review, leave the highest one possible. Otherwise, you're going to learn the real meaning of Backcracker. And then before we get into this massive issue, solicit for July, I also wanted to mention, we saw it on Twitter a little bit. If you listen to Change My Mind, you heard my co-host there, Wes, mention it. The Cloakroom is starting to hit your mailboxes. It has not gotten to Joseph and myself, but Wes has his. Rich Keefe has his. I know, is it Prison Mike on Twitter? I know he tweeted out that he got his. So I'm very excited to see people getting them. Make sure you're just checking your mailbox. I'm sure you guys all do it every day, because we all use the mail for normal reasons all the damn time, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have my copy, but
Well, you'll live. I don't feel bad for you at all. I told them, make sure you get it to Wes first, and then you get it to Keith, and then if you get it to Joe, that'd be just a icing on the cake.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways, all right, moving on. We got a lot to get to. We're trying to power through this. All right, we got Catching Up, Joe. I know you have a book that you want to break down in Catching Up. I just want to know that I read Grommets issue 1. I'm just gonna tease, because Grommets 2 is out this week. I have dibs on this book. We will get into that more later. But tell me, what have you been catching up on?
What haven't I caught up on? Let's see. Since we last convened, Nicholas, I caught up on The Last Ronin 2, Re-Evolution 2. Loved the first issue. Did not love The Last Ronin 2 in general, right? As I've stated many times. Many times. But I love the first issue of this. The second issue fell into sort of some of the same traps that The Last Ronin 2 fell into. There was a lot of dialogue to get into, and these are sort of oversized books. And there was a real serious pacing issue with this, but it ended really well. Like, gave me like a oh damn kind of moment.
Yeah.
So that was excellent. Gun Honey Collision Course issue 2. Crocodile Black issue 2 from Boom Studios. The first issue was very, very intriguing, and you had a sense of where it was going. Well, this issue takes you right down that path, and it is dark, and it is, baby, it's nice. It's some kind of messed up and twisted, and I just absolutely loved and love where it's going.
Good.
So this is a little peek behind the curtain here. I mean, this is I read Criminal Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's 9 in total, Nicholas. Mm-hmm. I mean, I read this first volume, 5 issues in less than an hour. Wow. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. This is an Ed Brubaker, John Phillips joint. And it was really, really effing good. I wrote down my notes. Gerd. That's how good it is. And then so last week, last week we did a main line, right?
Yes.
I discussed Gerd. I discussed 7 Years in Darkness, written by Joseph Smolke. And so, as I tend to do from time to time, I bitch and moan about things. And one of the things was there was this one shot called, and I couldn't remember the name of it because I'm old and my brain is Swiss cheese. The Shamar Worm issue 1, and I couldn't find it on Amazon either to buy a physical copy or a digital copy. I just couldn't find it. Well, Nicholas, this is the kind of star power that we have. I was very, I was very tickled to open up Instagram the following day. And see or later that day, I can't remember when I saw a message from Joseph Smolke saying, "Hey," I think it was later that day because I think he watched the show, and he said, "Loved it. Thank you for talking about my book. The book, you dumb idiot, that you're thinking of is the Shamar Worm. Give me your address. I'll send you a copy." I was so blown away that, all joking aside, I was so blown away by that because it was
that's amazing.
Awesome act of kindness. He didn't have to do that. I got it, read it, It is fantastic. It's a great little bridge between where issue 4 and year 1 ends, and sort of right where year 2 issue 1 begins, sort of
Nice.
feeds right. It was excellent. Gives you a little bit of background on one of the characters, I'll sort of aptly named Zero. I sort of believe that's how he's sort of nicknamed in the book. But it was excellent. So
Hmm.
thank you for that. Loved. Also sent along some stickers,
Ooh.
which I love throwing on a water bottle. So yeah, that's what I caught up on.
Wow, and also, you buried the lead. He didn't correct you on your pronunciation of his last name, so I'm assuming you got it right, right?
Right?
One would
Yeah,
think.
yeah, I think
I mean,
so.
one would hope at least, but either way, we can't dwell on that too long because we got too much to get to this week. What's new for the week of the 26th of June? This is the last new comic book day of June 2024. Joe, what do we got from Marvel?
All right. So Comixology's been doing this weird thing where like I've now like I've got to unclick a bunch of things just to see what's out that
Yeah.
week. But you know what they did? It's not that we'll get to this in a minute, but they've been including books from previous weeks. That's driving me bonkers. So trying to whittle this down and but anyways, it's a mouthful for Marvel this week. Ultimate Black Panther issue 5, Daredevil issue 10. Real quick aside, this is the best issue of this new run of Daredevil yet.
Ooh.
Blew me out of the fucking water. That's my first swear of the podcast. Hopefully it's my last. Because
See.
we're trying to keep it clean for the kids. But like absolutely blew my mind. You're clipping
Nice.
that, aren't you? We have Vengeance of the Moon Knight issue 6, The Spectacular Spider-Man issue 4, Blood Hunt issue 4, X-Men 97 issue 4, Superior Spider-Man issue 8, Spider-Gwen and this Ghost Spider issue 2, Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 issue 4, X-Men Blood Hunt Magic number 1, Midnight Suns Blood Hunt issue 2. Nicholas, I know you're reading the Blood Hunt like the main line. Are you getting annoyed by the thousands of fucking side
I'm blown
issues?
away. I'm blown away by how many that I see every time we talk about them.
It's wild.
See,
It's absolutely wild. It's like
I mean, I understand there's stuff pertinent like happening elsewhere, but it's like I've read the I haven't read this week's issue yet, but it's like I read the first three and I was like, okay, I know this happened elsewhere, or there was some development with it, but it's like I don't feel lost.
like
So,
War of the Realm was massive,
oh,
right?
yeah,
Massive. I feel like this blows that out of the water.
probably is.
I
Yeah,
find it a little bit like, come on,
yeah, y-
stop
but
fucking grabbing for people's wallets.
right, but I also think like like the Blood Hunt main line, like they're doing a good job. So
Yeah, I got no
that's
problem with that, right?
yeah.
Like you're doing like this big event.
Mhm.
I'm on my fucking event soapbox here,
Yeah.
but like you make it like hard, right? And I think this is part of the problem, like getting new readers, right? Someone might pick up Blood Hunt issue 1, then they're like, "Oh fuck, I got to read all these other books." Right? Because they don't know any
Yeah.
better. People don't always know any better, right? And like you got 1,000 titles, all these tie-ins. Like you want to do an event, just say, boom, here's the Blood Hunt event. And you tell all the stories within that event. You don't need to
Mhm.
like have
That's why I'm doing
Black
this.
Panther and well, everyone's got a goddamn Blood Hunt title.
Mhm.
I think to me, uh yeah, I don't like it. I don't it's
That's
why I
exactly
like
that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, Joe, because we don't know like in terms of like our listeners, like how many of them are. I assume most of them are like loyal comic book readers, but in case we ever find a new one and it's like, oh, Blood Hunt, I want to check it out, and then they listen to us, it's like, well, I want to be able to like shed some light on. You can look at that other stuff, but this is like a test case of like assuming that it lasts like it has been. It's been quality as long as it remains TLDR worthy. If I can fully weigh in and say like I enjoyed this without looking at all the side shit.
like I get the flip side of it. Like there is a positive to this in the sense that like it gives newer writers, newer creators, newer
Uh-huh.
artists
Sure.
an opportunity to maybe write a Marvel book. Like that part, like that's awesome, right? And I don't like say any of this to like belittle
Totally
or
different.
demean or like say like, but it's
Totally
apples and
different.
oranges. Like
Yep.
the idea of like you've got this awesome event that's going on, but you've also got a dozen other side titles that tie into it. Like that's expensive for everyone, right?
Mhm.
To be able to do that all at once. And it can be confusing too. So
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think, when you bring up like the new creators and stuff, it's like there are other ways that I would think you could go about doing that. One of them being like the anthology series that we're seeing them do more and more. Like,
Yes,
seems like a
right.
very doable thing. But anyways,
Or like, Black Label, like you
well,
want to give someone a chance to write Batman, but it's like, okay, well, it's Black Label, so it's not necessarily canon. Yeah, okay, here you go nuts, show
my
us what you
thing, I
got.
mean, you could do that, but I think lesser known characters too. I know those don't
Well,
always sell
exactly.
as well, but I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah,
there's options. But whatever. Anyways,
yeah. So Helverine issue 2, eyeball emojis, eyeball emojis, eyeball
shred.
emojis, eyeball emojis.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
We have Darth Maul Black, White, and Red issue 3, X-Men Heir of the Apocalypse issue 2, Black Widow and Hawkeye issue 4, Jackpot and the Black Cat issue 4, and giant sized Little Marvels issue 1, which I will be grabbing for Swaggins.
Oh, nice. Okay, awesome. We'll have to hear what her thoughts on it. I'm waiting for her to make her true podcast debut. From DC this week, we got Detective Comics 1086, Action Comics 1066, Superman 15, Green Arrow issue 13, The Flash issue 10, Harley Quinn 41, Absolute Power Ground Zero issue 1. This is a prelude to this summer's big blockbuster event, which obviously excites you, Joe. Batman the Brave and the Bold, issue 14, Power Girl, issue 10, The Penguin, 11, Batman 89 Echoes, issue 3, got it right this time, and then Primer, issue 3. And then, Joe, speaking of Black Label, I feel like obviously we've gotten Constantine Dead in America, which is a Black Label title, but I don't know what the last one was before that. But now we got another new one that's just popped up that Mariko Tamaki is writing with Javier Rodriguez as the artist and colorist on this. And I am going to take dibs on this title,
Perfect.
Joe.
Love it.
Zatanna Bringing Down the House, issue 1. This is a character.
Down the house.
This is a character who I'm always trying to spend a little bit more time with. Obviously, like her role in DC being like bringing the magic but having a different flair than Constantine. I like that. I want to spend more time with her, and obviously the relationship we've seen in various mediums over the years. But in this story, in this first issue, we learn a little bit about her childhood, a little bit about her relationship with magic, see how that impacts her on the daily. I think for people who aren't really familiar with the character, this is a very accessible story. And then in the course of everything, we meet a very mysterious individual who pops up, and then we deal with that character in some capacity throughout the story. But for me, like, I am definitely like a child of 90s comics art style, and then how that's impacted the industry and beyond. But when you get something that has that old school like feel, but is also like a little bit more like tight in the modern sense, I'm very much interested in that, and Javier Rodriguez gives that. So it's like a different visual experience than what I'm getting anywhere else, but at the same time, it's also familiar. So I had a lot of fun with Zatanna Bringing Down the House, issue 1.
What did you think of Tamaki's writing?
I think she does a great job. It's
Right.
exactly what you expect.
Yeah, because like her run on Detective Comics was phenomenal. Her run with Batman during Future State was absolutely phenomenal.
I think she did
So
X-23, which I don't know if I talked about that title on here. It was good. It was just like very fast moving, which makes sense. But it was X-23 and Gabby were at like a honey badger. They were at the center of it. She did a really good job with that as well.
I feel like she really gets like the Batman world, and she gets a lot of those side characters. Because her run on Detective Comics was mostly the Bat family, right? Which I enjoyed. Like, okay,
She did
I'm reading
too, right?
I'm reading a what?
She did a lot. Wasn't it like it was like twice a month, right? That title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wrote
Her and
Dan
Mora.
Mora, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So excellent. So awesome. I'm glad you read that, liked it, and called dibs, because I can't wait to hear more about it. From Image and Skybound, we have Void Rivals issue 10, which I just need to get completely caught up on. Because as you know, I am all in on the Energon universe right now. World Tree issue 11. King Spawn issue 35, Monstrous issue 52, The Sacrificers, which I am bound to read by duty and by oath, issue 9, The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 91, the Sergei Fedorov issue. Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, issue 3. Excellent series. We have Knights, issue 8. Blood Squared 7, issue 2. Drawing Blood, issue 3. The Cabinet, issue 5. Nicholas, Image, with a vengeance this week. Where would you like to start, my friend?
Let's see. Well, I just broke down a book, and I do have a couple. We have a couple that I'm breaking down solo, but there is one book that you're talking about solo that I haven't seen pop up for a long ass time. I'd like to
2
hear.
years, Nicholas. 2
Okay,
years.
let me hear
Holy
it.
smokes. The Department of Truth, issue 23. When you alerted me that Image Books were now ready to read, to gander, I got up that morning. I made myself an Americano, right, and black, like a man's man, in my Department of Truth coffee mug. And I sat down. I gave myself some time to read this thing because I was worried, Nicholas, that because it had been about 2 years since the last issue was out, that I would have to go back and reread issue 22. Not the case, because
Ooh.
I love this book so much. There's something just like one of the holes in the Swiss cheese addled brain of mine was filled in, and I just went bang. I remembered everything where it left off. And this was a great issue because I'm not a huge conspiracy theory guy. We know your other podcast partner, Father Wesley, is.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love a good conspiracy theory, right? But I'm not like, like Wesley or Keith, for example. Like, I don't believe like the moon landing was fake or anything like that. Although I'm starting to wonder it now these days.
Mm.
But I love, like, I'm just fascinated by the whole JFK assassination thing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've taken, I took a class about it in college, just absolutely fascinated by it. And so that's sort of the premise of this whole series, the whole book. It starts off with, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Mm-hmm.
And spoiler alert, book's been out for years now. He's not
Yeah.
dead, right? And he is the leader of the Department of Truth, and their whole being of existence is to spread these conspiracy theories to confuse the masses, right? So no
Mm-hmm.
one really knows what's really. Anyways, this was a great issue because it moved the story forward, but also kind of brought you right back to the beginning and
Mm-hmm.
where it started, and gave you even more of a backstory than you'd already gotten in the first 22 issues. So, like, fans of the Department of Truth who have been reading this, you're going to pick up this issue, even though it's been a long time. Don't feel like you, I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to go back, because I think I'm probably going to go back and reread the last arc just because it's in my blood again, because I was
Mm-hmm.
afraid at one point in time it wasn't coming back. But it's back, baby. Read it. If you're new to the Department of Truth, read this issue. And if it pulls you in, then go back, get the trades, and
Nice.
get caught up, right? Because that's what this issue in particular does a great job of. It's sort of like an introduction without being a reintroduction,
Mm-hmm.
but like
Good.
it's awesome. And Martin Simmons' art, man, if you're not familiar with his art style, it's creepy, man, and it is so absolutely perfect for this story.
I am so pumped for you. So I don't know if I did it, mentioned it in a trade, but I did start the first arc. But I think that was, I think I read it and then the pause happened. So then I was like, I don't want to keep going and get further invested in it. So I'm definitely going to go back
Like I said, don't blame you, because I wasn't sure it was coming
yeah,
back.
exactly. Your concern concerned me, so then I didn't go any further. But I'm definitely going to go back and catch up on this because obviously you've talked about this one a ton, and also to bring it back to that coffee mug. Don't tell anybody else, but I think that was the best one of the bunch that I gave out to the
Oh,
people. Yeah, it was
tremendous.
without question.
I
Yeah.
use it almost exclusively these days.
Hell yeah, that's what I love to hear. As for me, so I know there's a book that we both read that we're going to dig into, but I want to hit on Rook Exodus first. I know I talk about this title pretty much every month. Obviously, this is the third issue, so I have only been able to talk about it so much, but I called dibs on this, and I did because I knew you would probably as well. Because the character Rook looks so badass. I know he's got a bird mask, but like at the same time, it wasn't gonna creep you out or anything like that. This is very clearly supposed to be action like. Obviously, it's Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok, and I fell in love with that character's design right away. I'm telling you, man, like this is the coolest book on the shelves right now. Rook Exodus is the coolest book you will find on shelves right now. If you're not reading it, you are absolutely missing out. Find a way to get those first 2 issues when you go pick up the 3rd one this week. And honestly, like the covers too, they're just so awesome. Like Fabok's one of the best artists in the industry. There's no question about it. And not only is this one of the this is the coolest book on the shelves right now, this issue is the coolest issue that we've gotten because, dude, we get to look at so Rook is a warden on this this planet that Earth like sent people to as global warming and everything, like the environment deteriorated. So he's a warden on this planet where they have they have these masks, they have the control over all the animals, these different animals. So for him, it's I forget if it's like crows or ravens or if it's just birds. I feel like it's crows, but he has control over them because of his mask. Now, you're not a bird guy, so I understand that, but I actually like crows and ravens. But you have all these other wardens.
Okay, Jon Snow.
You have all these other wardens who have these different masks. We have Direwolf, who's the number 2, the leading lady in this story. And then we've seen a bunch of other ones throughout the course of it. There was Swine, who has this hog mask. In this issue, okay, through the first 2 issues, we see 4 warden masks. We see in this one, we see at least double that, if not more. And it's just you're getting a feel for how many there are, and there's more than we're expected. And dude, it is so awesome. And I like there's so many cool looks. For me, the deer warden, whose name is Stag, best look. Like he has the best look after Rook. Like the main character has my favorite look, no question. But there's so many different ones for everybody else, and I'm not talking about anything like that out of context. That means nothing for the average person. You'll see like what goes on as you read this, but man, like this is so cool. Like, and it's honestly, I know it's such a basic way to describe a series, but it like you'll read it. And whoever reads it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Like this is just the definition of a cool comic book.
Love that. Love that. Love that.
Oh, I've been itching to talk about it all week, man. Those masks are so fucking cool. But anyways,
so talk about the other book that you called dibs on, and then because we gotta end with this last one here because
sure, 100%. So Grommets issue 2, Rick Remender, Brian Posen, and then art by Brett Parson with colors by Moreno Dionisio. And we always try and mention the colors and letters as well, but specifically got to mention Moreno with Brett here because I love this title has a cartoony style, and the colors play such a big part in getting that across. And it's so fun. Now, this was a book that Joe was interested in, and I was kind of like, I don't know. Like, I like Rick Remender, but I was like, I don't know. Like, this isn't. You check it out first, and you did check it out, but it didn't really do much for you, right?
I can't remember. I started to read it, and then like I put it down for whatever reason, and then just like never got back to it. It's a skater book, right?
Yeah,
like skateboard, right? Yep. So part of the reason why I wanted to start reading it was Violet has been wanting to get into skateboarding. So I bought her a skateboard, and and then you say, you know what, because Nicholas, if you're lucky and blessed enough one day to become a father, it's still the joy of raising a child is like nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, Violet she's wonderful, and she's got really great strengths. One of the things, that my daughter, I think, is she's like her father. She's a little bit tentative. And so like, she's very cautious, right? And so like got the skateboard, I noticed her like getting on it, but then like, it's a stability thing, it's a balance thing. And so like she felt like she was gonna fall. And that made her really nervous and really scared. And so she like put it down, then like didn't go back to it for a while. So I bought a skateboard. Nicholas, I've never fucking skateboarded, I swear to you, a day in my life. Now I have tremendous balance. I will say that is one of my great skill sets. I do have great balance. Maybe it's the wide feet. Maybe it's my low center of gravity.
Either way, you're an ice skater, so we know.
Right. But skateboarding is not my thing. I bought myself a skateboard. And I said, you know what, kid, I'm going to learn with you. Right. I will get on this and we will do this together. You'll see me fall. You'll see me get cut. You'll see me get scratched and you'll see me get back up again. And that's right. So like this all happened at the time around this time this comic dropped. So I was very interested in that, right? Because like, and then like I said, just for whatever reason, it was no fault of the writing, it was no fault of the art. It was like sometimes we pick something up, we start reading it, and then we put it down for whatever reason, and then we got 1,000 other things to read.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you read it because you were initially skeptical. I'm glad you liked it. And I'm glad that you're potentially going to talk about it on the show.
Yeah, I almost feel bad now that I took it from you just because
No,
I understand the circumstances.
Make it that much richer.
We talked it through previously, so you were cool with it, but I mean, you have great hijinks. It's like set in the 80s, it's coming of age, set in California, so it feels very familiar. The main characters are Rick and Brian, which is a nice touch. As you mentioned, skater kids. Rick's the new kid in town. There's just, like you said, it's just a fun time, and I know this is set for 7 issues, but this very much feels like a thing that could be ongoing. I don't know if there's we'll see how it sells and then maybe we'll make it ongoing, but it's just another thing where it's like you're not seeing anything else like that. I'm not seeing anything else like this in comics, and in what we're the stuff that we're covering. It's just, it feels like this is this could be like a movie, like a coming of age movie or a coming of age show, and it's just a fun time, and it's a nice little, from the badassness of Rook Exodus, or the magic that I have in Zatanna, or some of these other books that we talk about. It's just it's a fun change of pace with some fun, relatable characters.
Love that. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
Yep.
Now,
it's about that time.
Strap in and strap on, folks, because that's what this issue is going to make you do. This one's a ride, baby. Now, this, of course, is No One issue 9, part of the Massiveverse. We were in, I don't know if you heard us talk about this before. We may have mentioned it. We were at C2E2 back in April. Little thing, no big deal. And Kyle Higgins was there. And we actually spent a good chunk of our weekend chatting with Kyle. We went to a couple of his panels and stopped by. He was
the nicest.
Kyle couldn't have been more gracious. As soon as he saw us, he came right up. It was awesome. And so we were talking about, Radiant Black and all the different massive, Supermassive and all the other Massiveverse books. But the one in particular we were talking about was No One, because it'd been a little while and there was some time in between issues. And he had said, you guys aren't ready for issue 9, because he told us, he's like, the such and such,
yep,
right? And man, we had no idea. Like we knew what he meant, right? And he said it without spoiling anything, right?
Yeah, because it's something. Well, he said it in the panel, and it's out there. It's you could, the prop that's been talked about, the legislation that's been talked about throughout the course of this series has been passed. In between last issue and issue 9, it passes, and they address it very early on. But that's a huge. If you're reading No One, that is a huge friggin' deal.
Right, but I don't think either of us, I don't know about you, Nicholas, but reading it and listening to the podcast, go listen to the bloody podcast.
So good.
Right, if you're reading the book as well. We had an idea that okay, there's a character we could see here taking this thing, way too far. But I don't think either of us were prepared for the magnitude of just how, pun intended, massive, the consequences were going to be. And you get it right off the rip.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. There is a 2-3 panel sequence where you just go, well, no, it's more than that. It's 6 panels and then boom. And you go,
yep, dude,
holy shit. And that was just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle and Brian and Geraldo absolutely knocked the issue out of the park. I mean, we've raved about this title a ton. It was my book of the year last year. And you mentioned the podcast, we've said it, you don't have to listen to it, but you are severely missing out if you don't. It enhances the experience so much. Like Kyle and Brian do a great job of writing it where you don't need to. Like it's a complimentary thing, but it makes everything, it gives you just a more holistic experience. And I fucking love it. I mean, and it's like, most of them are like 15-minute max episodes. So you can like listen to it again and again and you get extra details. So I've had so much fun with it. But yes, this issue is sheer friggin' chaos, complete mayhem. And at the end of it all too, Joe, like as everything's kind of transpired and we have all this bad shit that's happened, I am not going to say any more than this on the individual no one. We can talk about it off air, you and I, but I have a hunch of what no one is going to do. I have a guess. I don't want to say it on here because I just want to leave.
I will pick your brain afterwards.
But this is so good. And this is one of those ones you talk about it all the time. Like you even if you've read this series issue to issue, like you and I have, this is something you're going to want to have in your collection on your shelf when it's in trade form. It has been that friggin' good.
100%. 100%. All right. Take us to the next few here, Nicholas.
All right. Yeah. So let's fly through these. So from AWA Studios, our friends over there, we got You and I issue 5, not to be confused with You and Me issue 5. Then
you
from from Boom, thank you for doing it once. From Boom, we got Something is Killing the Children issue 38, Grimm issue 18. What an awesome issue, right?
I texted you immediately. I finished it.
You did. Very interesting issue for the character Life. I did not see any of that coming, right? Right?
I want to call him something, but I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it at that. Very interesting issue for that character. Animal Pound issue 4, Rare Flavors issue 6, the final issue. That's a Rom V joint that you're reading, correct?
Yeah, it was a very fitting, and it felt like a tribute of sorts type of ending. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 121, Dune House Carino issue 4. From Dark Horse, we got Blue Book 1947 issue 5, Star Wars The High Republic Adventures Saber for Hire issue 3, Ghostbusters Back in Town issue 4, Anansi Boys issue 1. That is Neil Gaiman, if I'm not mistaken, a novel by him, if I'm not mistaken, being adapted into comics. I know it's originally his property. William of Newbury issue 2, which you are reading. Operation.
Love the first issue, by the way.
I haven't checked this out.
This is a fun fantasy. I don't know if it's like a TLDR book, but it's a fun fantasy story, man. Read the first issue. I think you'll like it.
Okay. That's because I passed over this one and when it came out, and I was like, maybe I should check it out. Like it's just, I don't know if it was a slow week or not. Anyways, Operation Sunshine Already Dead issue 3, Resident Alien: The Book of Life issue 1. From Mad Cave, we got Nottingham issue 13. So I can't say it enough. I fucking love Nottingham. Gotcha Man issue 1 from Cullen Bunn, friend of the show, which I think. Did we touch upon it with him a little bit when we had him on?
So at the end of the chat, right? We talked about some upcoming projects, and Gotchaman was one, and as we get further into our solicit, there's like another Gotchaman title written by someone else. So it looks like they're sort of going all in. I've never heard of this character before. But they're going all in on this character right now, and I love that Cullen's on it.
They're doing some interesting stuff with these licensing deals that they have, because like Flash Gordon's another one who I have a mixed relationship with over the years.
Tracy.
But anyway, yep, Dick Tracy, which has been killer. Then we got Sanction issue 2 out this week, which you have dibs on. Do you want me to just take us through the rest of these fast, Joe?
Do I have? I do have dibs on Sanction. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we have that. All right, I'm going to roll us through these, and then so prepare yourself for the start of the solicit, 40 minutes in. All right, from Vault, we got Barbaric Born in Blood, issue 2. From Titan, we got Conan the Barbarian, issue 12. Forgotten Ruins, Wizard's Cult, issue 5. Rivers of London, Stray Cat Blues, issue 2. From Ablaze, we got Almost Dead, issue 3. From Dynamite, we got Army of Darkness Forever, issue 9. Darkwing Duck, Negaduck, issue 6. Sweetie Candy Vigilante, issue 3. Garbage Pail Kids, Trashing Through Time, issue 5. From CEX, we got 7 Years in Darkness, Year 2, Issue 2, which Joe obviously just talked about recently and talked about earlier in the show. Valiant, supposedly, we have Bloodshed Unleashed, Issue 4, and Ray, the Book of the Dark, Issue 2. I haven't seen Valiant stuff actually come out in ages. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
From IDW, we got TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures, Issue 14, Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Volume 2, Issue 3, by friend of the show, Colin Bunn. Star Trek Defiant, Issue 16, Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons, Volume 2, Sons of Giants, Issue 1. Sonic the Hedgehog, Spring Broken, Issue 1. That's interesting. I missed that. And then from Source Point Press, we got Hack Slash versus Seance Room, Issue 1, Murder by Mail, Issue 2, Cthulhu, Death May Die, Issue 1. There Was Another Life, Issue 1, Pocus Hocus, Issue 2, and then Hope, Issue 3. Of all the fucking ones to end on, just Hope. I got none of it after that. But you can start us off with this Solicit with Marvel, please.
First off, I want to apologize to you. I can't believe I fucking brain farted on Sanction. That first issue was absolutely tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. My brain is just, riddled with.
This is a monstrous week for us. Never mind, forget the fact that we're doing the Solicit like earlier than we tend to do. There are so many killer books that came out. So
it's the biggest week we've had in, I think, some time, actually.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Image alone was just bringing down the house. But yeah, so we're doing our July Solicit for the week of the 4th, which New Comic Book Day is the 3rd. What do we got from Marvel, Joe?
Well, so as you'd imagine, the week of the 4th, not a ton, but we do have some goodies in here. So from Marvel, we have Venom issue 1, Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 22, Doctor Strange issue 17, Deadpool issue 4, Blood Hunters issue 3, Black Panther Blood Hunters issue 3, Star Wars The High Republic issue 9. And then we have a bunch of number ones here. We have X-Men Blood Hunters Psylocke issue 1, written by Steve Fox with art by Lin Yoshi.
Ooh, I'm not doing all the Blood Hunt stuff, but Steve Fox.
That's one
Psylocke?
worth doing, right? Like, yeah, that's one worth doing. I'm not familiar with Lin Yoshi's art, so
neither am I.
That might be definitely a great one to check out. Werewolf by Night Blood Hunt issue 1, written by Jason Liu with art by Adam Gorham. Life of Wolverine issue 1. This is written by Jim Zub with art by Ramon Box. This is the synopsis essentially boiled it down to this is this is Wolverine life story. It is his story, a true chronological order of his life from the beginning as we know it, all the way through all the major events in his life.
Interesting.
We have it does sound very interesting. And Jim Zub's a good writer. We have Star Wars Inquisitors issue 1. This is written by Rodney Barnes with art by Ramon Rosanas.
Nice.
So I love that Rodney's getting more Marvel work. We're going to see his name or hear his name a few times.
A ton of Star Wars stuff
in the Solicit. Annihilation 2099, written by Steve Orlando with art by Ibram Roberson. And then so this book right here, this one intrigues me because I missed the initial run, I believe. So Spider-Man Reign 2 issue 1, written and drawn by Kari Andrews. My first experience with Kari Andrews was Erratic over at AWA, right?
I knew that name from somewhere.
So
nice.
he's got this really just sort of wonderful artistic design. He's a great writer, and Erratic is sort of like AWA. Is sort of the Resistance universe's Peter Parker, Spider-Man, if you will. Not the same powers, but his power set is that he can use any power that he wants, but he only has 15 minutes, right, to use them at a time. So he's really got to pick and choose. But there's a real sort of high school Peter Parker feel to him. So the fact that he's writing Spider-Man, I don't know if he did Spider-Man Reign, the first volume, which I want to go back and take a look at, but this really has me intrigued, Nicholas.
Nice. Yeah, I'm happy for you. Definitely, that's all you. You are the Spider-Man guy, and I like giving you a first crack at any of that stuff. As for DC in the week of the 3rd, we got Batman 150, Poison Ivy 24, Birds of Prey issue 11, Justice Society of America issue 10, Shazam issue 13, The Boy Wonder issue 3, Kneel Before Zod issue 7, My Adventures with Superman issue 2, not to be confused with Your Adventures with Superman, The Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries issue 3, and then we got Absolute Power issue 1. This is by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. This is that new event, right?
Yeah, so I think this week, the last week of June, if you will, is sort of you're getting that prelude to this event. And then so I'm wondering if, like, we know there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes at DC, like week to week over the past pretty much this entire year. They've really cut back on number ones, the volume of books they put out. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering if that's like, okay, we're going all in on this event, and then
Mm,
we're really going to kick things up a notch once it ends, or
maybe.
through it. But this does sound great because they're really sort of diving into the bad guys, right?
Yeah, honestly, Joe, I might give this one a look too. Yeah, I'm doing a
I think
Marvel event. I'm doing
I think we both should, you know.
okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
interested because you're right. Like I have felt like we have Batman, I have Poison Ivy that I'm reading. Obviously, we're reading Constantine, and then there's Nightwing, and then Zatanna just popped up. But I still feel like it's been light for us for DC. What?
Well, so last year, my reading list, DC outnumbered Marvel 2-1. It's the
Mm,
absolute opposite
yeah,
so far
makes sense.
this year. And I haven't taken a look at your weeks in full detail, but like it doesn't seem like there's an absolute power, like 1,000 titles associated to absolute power.
No, I only
Uh
saw one. I think in mine, it was like for Amanda Waller.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so let's hope DC keeps this event,
Yeah, we
nice
will
and
be
tight.
checking it out. You and I will be giving it a chance. And then the only other thing that's out that week is going to be Batman and Robin and Howard Summer Breakdown issue 1 by Jeffrey Brown.
All right, so from Image and Skybound. I didn't want that to sound too like Mayor Menino there. Um, mumbles. I want the
You
people to know,
fair. Okay.
right? We have Radiant Black issues 29 and 29 and a half.
Mhm.
This I'm assuming is the ending of the Catalyst War, or just
I
about.
think 30 is the end of Catalyst War, I think.
Okay, got you guys. So we're getting there, right?
We're getting there.
Yep. Gunslinger Spawn issue 33, Scarlet issue 2, all in on the Energon universe. The Scorched issue 31, The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 92, Rogue Sun issue 20. I love that we're getting so much Massiverse stuff
Yep.
recently. Public Domain issue 6,
Yes.
baby.
Hell yes.
We're back, baby.
Hell yeah.
The Holy Roller issue 7. Local Man is back with issue 11. Sam and Twitch Case Files issue 4. My man Derek Kirk Kim's The Last Mermaid issue 5. Our other good friend of the show, 5-time guest, Hall of Famer Sean Lewis's conclusion to Bear Pirate Viking Queen
Oof.
issue 3. We have Savage Dragon issue 271. And then we have Free Agents issue 1. This is written by Fabian Nicieza and Kurt Busick with art by Steve Mooney. And we have All Things We Didn't Do Last Night issue 1, written by and drawn by Maria Lovett. I just read a series by her, Old Man Moment. The title is eluding me, but that book was sexual. It was twisted.
Yeah, you
It was fantastic.
I can't believe it
And
was.
I know. And so this is a similar vibe. She got a very unique art style and just criminals to lovers. This is a one-shot, 3-part story
Mm,
that was, I guess, featured in, Image's Solicit they did at some point.
mhm.
So I'm a newfound fan of her work. So I will definitely check this out.
Nice. And also, there's so many cool things that are coming. We're just in the first week of July talking about it. I do want to know that doesn't mean that as much as we're not doing any what's new because you and I are not going to be in or at our homes at the same time for pretty much the entire month. Doesn't mean that you won't see a doc stack over on Instagram or on YouTube. Doesn't mean that hey, maybe I'll do a stack or two while Joe's away, just because there's so many cool books. And honestly, I just want to make sure that we're showing the love. So just a reminder, we always talk about, subscribe to the audio channel so that way you don't have to worry about social and stuff when we tweet out Friar Side chats. but this would probably be also a good time to be subscribed to our socials or following our socials.
Crave was the book.
Oh, she did
was absolutely,
Crave. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Crave. That book. I typed in her name and Faithless popped up, but that's a Brian Azzarello book, so I don't know if she did the
Maybe she's the
art on
artist.
that.
Yeah.
Is she? Yeah, Maria Love. She's the artist in Faithless. So I don't know if you're familiar with Faithless, but I remember it being black bagged and it is a book not for the chillins, not for the faint at heart. I haven't read it, but I've heard it's pretty intense. But she's
Nice.
fantastic. Crave was the book. And I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, so Maria, love it or leave it. I think you're loving it for sure.
Oh, I'm loving it, baby.
All right, I'm going to take us through these other ones since we got such a light one, so that way we can jump right into the week of the 10th. From Boom, we got Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Archive Edition, issue 1. From Dark Horse, we got The Goon, Them That Don't Stay Dead, issue 2. Kanto, A Place Like Home, issue 2. Beyond the Pale, issue 2. And then we have Cyberpunk 2077, Kickdown, issue 1. This is by Tomasz Marchuka and Jake Elfchick. Elphick. Oh yeah, probably Elphick. You're probably right on that one. Throwing in extra C's there. Grendel, Devil's Crucible, Defiance, issue 1, and that's by Matt Wagner.
Wagner.
I was gonna. I honestly,
Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
I would say Wagner, but
yeah.
You know,
anyways,
it could be Wagner.
No, it's probably Wagner, but either way, Matt, we're sorry.
We got our bases covered.
I think, yeah, exactly. From IDW, we got Sonic the Hedgehog issue 70, Star Trek Sons of Star Trek issue 4, and then My Little Pony Set Your Sail issue 3. From Vault, we got Beyond Real issue 5, which I believe is the final issue of that series, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we've been loving that one. Slash presents Deathstalker issue 3. More coming from Slash in the month of July. We'll talk about that later. From Titan, we got The Savage Sword of Conan issue 3, and then Doctor Who, The 15th Doctor issue 1 by Dan Waters, who Joe's been raving about recently. And then the artist on that is Kelsey Ramsey. And then lastly, from Dynamite, we got Space Ghost issue 3, Vampirella Dark Reflections issue 2, and Chitara issue 1 by Sue Lee and Domenico Carboni.
Did I hear an IDW? Did you say W?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Of course. All right. What do we got from Marvel for the week of the 10th?
The week of July 10th, 2024, we have Wolverine Blood Hunt issue 3, Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 issue 5, Ghost Rider Final Vengeance issue 5. Is that the last issue of that? Do we know? Or is it on?
I will double check that real quick.
God, I hope not. Heir to the Apocalypse issue 3, Get Fury issue 3, Union Jack the Ripper issue 3, Annihilation 2099 issue 2. Some number ones from Marvel. We have Hulk Blood Hunt issue 1, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Danny Earls. Kid Venom issue 1 by Tagami. Ahsoka. Jesus, Joseph. Issue 1.
In fairness, you typed it incorrectly, so that's that's maybe why you misread it. Yeah, it's spelled out Ashoka. Like, I'm just trying to give you, like, I don't know. I'm trying to help, but I guess I'm doing more damage. Anyway,
he's pipe down. Ahsoka issue 1, written by Rodney Barnes, with art by George Genti and Stephen Cummings. We have Giant-Sized Silver Surfer, written by friend of the show Matt Groom, with art by Tommaso Bianchi. And
before you say the number one, I just want to mention that Ghost Rider Final Vengeance will not end with issue 5, but issue 6.
Balls. Okay, at least we get another issue. But the big one, this might be the book of July.
Yep.
In terms of anticipation.
Yes.
In terms of just everything that's going on right now. X-Men issue 1.
Yep.
Jed McKay. Ryan Stegman, multi-time friend of the show. From the ashes, Krakoa is gone, Orcus has fallen, but the X-Men remain. Always. Cyclops leads because that's what he does. Beast builds because that's what he does. And from their new home in Alaska, the X-Men raise a flag of defiance. That's Go,
Yeah.
Nicholas.
Dude, obviously, like, McKay and Stegman, like, obviously, Stegman, we're in 100%. McKay, I've been raving about him recently with his work on Moon Knight. He's writing the main line for Blood Hunt. It's his event. He's been killing it over there. I couldn't be more in on this stuff. I'm very excited. And the team that we have for X-Men, too, is Cyclops, Beast, Magneto, Psylocke, Kid Omega, Temper and Magic, and then Juggernaut. There are some characters who I'm not as familiar with in there, but obviously plenty that we all know very well. Honestly, the ones I'm most excited about are probably Magneto, Psylocke, and Magic for this team. What about you?
Oh, yeah, you know what? Very similar, but I I love Juggernaut. I've always loved Juggernaut,
Nice.
right? So I can't wait to see how I can't wait to see how Beast is done,
Mm,
considering what we got with him, in Wolverine, X-Men, and all that. So like, it's gonna be fantastic, right?
yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, we are very pumped about it, and be good if we find a way to do more with X Men somehow on the show at some point
yeah,
in the month. But
yeah. We'll figure it out.
yeah, they'll figure something out. Anyways, from DC Comics, we got Action 1067, Green Lantern issue 13, Batman and Robin 11, Batman Gotham by Gaslight, The Kryptonian Age issue 2, Outsiders issue 9, Sinister Sons issue 6, and then Looney Tunes 279. And then we have an Absolute Power title. We have Absolute Power Task Force 7. Yeah, I got that right. I know my Roman numerals. Issue 1. This is by Lee Williams and Caitlin Yarsky.
I love, 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 love that she is getting, some big time, big two work. I loved her artwork in Bliss and Coyotes. Sean Lewis, man, like we talk about him, he picks his artists really well. I mean,
Mhm.
look at Hayden Sherman, right? He's been blowing up, right,
Yeah.
lately. Caitlin Yarsky, right? Like he's just, man, he's talked about it. He's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna lose all of these artists at some point because like they're gonna just go on to do great things. And I love her art style. She's got a very unique, beautiful art style. So again, I'm looking forward to the Absolute Power event.
Mhm.
Unlike anything, Marvel's got a big event. I'm gonna
Well,
probably like,
here's a big difference. We have the one issue that they got this week, right? Then we got the one issue coming out to start July. Then we have the one issue in the second week of July.
yes,
An issue a week with like a bunch of them being
that's
tie-ins, totally
doable.
fair.
Yeah,
Totally makes sense. Totally get that. 3, even 2 per week is a lot.
yeah.
Anyways, we also have Primer Chasing Colors issue 1. This is by Thomas Krajewski, Jennifer Murrow, and Gretel Lusky. And then we have Death in the Family, Robin Lives issue 1 by J.M.D. Mateus and Rick Lenardi. Which it what is this? Because you jotted this one down.
So you were too young for this, Nicholas. Heck, I was probably even too young for this at the time. But anyways, in
I
Death
was
in the
born for
Family,
this.
right? They had a thing at the end of one of the comics. You got to vote, right? Does
Yep,
Jason Todd live or
of
die?
course.
And everyone hated Jason Todd, and he died. We
Mhm.
all know what Jason Todd went on to become. Well, this book presupposes, what if Jason Todd lived?
Ah, okay, got it. Makes sense.
I don't give a flying shit if he lived because I love what he became, right?
I'm curious though.
I don't know. I don't know if like I don't know. I'm sure it's gonna be excellent. And I'm being a curmudgeon here. But like, yeah, like no,
I,
I don't
I
like Jason Todd. I like Red Hood,
Yeah,
right?
I'm with you. I do have a lot of his Robin appearances collected in my place, but at the same, I'm with you. Like it all worked out for the character in terms of like entertainment value.
It's gonna be interesting, but I
But
feel
I
like
might
this
check
it's
it out.
almost like I don't know.
No,
I have mixed feelings
I'm
about this.
not like I mean, I would never have asked for it, but I might check it out still. Just
It's
to see if
definitely
it's
worth checking out, but
one
I
issue.
don't know. I got
And
mixed feelings.
I don't blame you.
But anywho, more positive here, Joseph.
Mm.
From Image and Skybound, we have Transformers issue 10, Geiger issue 4, the Ice Cream Man issue 4, Ice Cream Man issue 40, Ain't No Grave issue 3,
Hell
Moon
yeah.
Man issue 3. That's with Kid Cudi, correct?
Yes, that one was with Cuddy, yeah.
Falling in Love on the Path to Hell issue 2. We're both reading this. We loved the first issue.
So good. It's our life story. That's what this title is.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It is. Jesus. Monolith issue 3, written by Sean Lewis. Apparently, the first 2 issues have both sold out, which is awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. The Whisper Queen, a Black Sand Tale, issue 3, written by my Chip. Precious Metal issue 2, Saint Mercy Godland issue 4. And speaking of public domain, right? We know that is sort of an inside baseball, sort of insiders, sort of, it's a book written from the inside, right? About sort of all the writers and the artists in the world that is comics and adapted franchises. And the domain is sort of like the main franchise within that story. It's now getting its own issue, baby.
It's amazing.
Love this. Love this.
It's brilliant. It's a total Chip move too. Like, yep. I'm just gonna get totally fucking wacky with this shit if I wasn't crazy enough. And now I'm gonna tell the story that everybody's talking about with its own story. Like, it's just it's meta. And I'm here for it. So yeah, the domain is the title within the story, public domain, that is kind of battled over. So yeah, I'm very much
story interested. Within the story. So this is of course written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Rachel Stott. I'll do Boom, and then you can take us through Dark Horse.
Sure.
The ice cream store. From Boom, we have Crocodile Black issue 3, Profane issue 2. Oh, someone's at the door. The Armory Wars God Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, volume 2, issue 3. And I wrote GTFO with this name. Jesus, that's what a hell of a name.
That is what the fuck is that? That is a lot. From Dark Horse, we got Dawn Runner issue 4, which Joe has dibs on. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures issue 7. Vox Machina Origins issue 2. Monsters Are My Business issue 4, which I have dibs on. We talked with Cullen about that a little bit. We had him on the show, but I refused to give up dibs to Joe on that one because he didn't get any extra titles. The story had been going on for a bit. Been loving Monsters Are My Business. The Tales of Exandria Artigen issue 4. And then we got a couple first issues from Dark Horse, one that we've talked about quite a bit on this show. First, From the World of Minor Threats, Barfly issue 1. This is Patton Oswalt, I believe Kyle Starks, Jordan Blum, and then Ryan Brown. And then we have Kill All Immortals issue 1. This is by Zach Kaplan, Fico Ossio. We've talked about this a ton. I got an early look at it. Then we had Zach Kaplan on the show to talk about it. Once again, doing what I do, calling dibs on a book, then screwing myself over and having the artist over because I care more about the people than I do about myself. So then Joe gets to look at it. But awesome. Absolutely love Kill All Immortals issue 1. Can't wait to read more. Joe and I have had to wait a little bit longer to get on issue 2, but we're excited to check it out. This is Succession meets John Wick with Immortal Vikings. I mean, I don't know what else you need to hear to check it out. You'll see the cover for this, the main cover, and it is the best, one of the best covers that you're going to see on shelves. Kill All Immortals issue 1. I mean, I know X-Men is like the most anticipated book of the month, Joe, but Kill All Immortals issue 1 could be the one that gets the people most excited in July.
So no one's read this yet. Very few people have read this, I should say. We had, as you probably mentioned, Zach Kaplan on the show, right? This, before the issue is even dropped, I am telling you, this is contention for Book of the Year.
Yep. 100%.
That's how good of a story this is, just from the first issue alone. I apologize. My wife was unable to get to the door. Someone rang the doorbell. My daughter was upstairs, so I wasn't comfortable with her being up there.
You're good.
And it was someone trying to sell me a bloody roof.
A roof?
A roof.
You have one.
Yeah, I know. And it's brand spanking new.
Get out of here. Get that corn out of my face.
Get that corn out of my face.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, I know you had to run up down the stairs, and I know Violet is now here. So I'm going to take us through these few before you do Marvel for the week of the 17th. From IDW, we got The Hunger in the Dusk, Book 2, Issue 1. You got to talk about this book on the show still. We got Golgotha, Motor Mountain, issue 4, My Little Pony Maritime Mysteries issue 4, and then a couple first issues. We got The Rocketeer Breaks Free issue 1 by Stephen Mooney and Staz Johnson, and then TMNT 40th Anniversary Comic Celebration. This is a one-shot. Then from Mad Cave, we got Morning Star issue 4 from friends of the show, Tim Daniel and DB Andre. Love Me, a Romance Story issue 3. Then we got Gotcha Man Galactor issue 1 by Steve Orlando and Catherine Lobo. Soul Taker issue 1 by Tom. Oh boy, what do you think? Snagowski? I think I got that right.
I would say Snagowski.
Okay. And then Janine Atchison. And then from Titan Gun Honey Collision Course issue 3. And lastly, from Dynamite, we got Red Sonja Empire of the Damned issue 4, Hercules issue 4, and then Vampirella issue 670, which brings us to the week of July 17th. We're moving at a pretty good pace now, Joe.
Yeah, we still got 2 more weeks to go.
I know.
A lot more books in these weeks.
Yep, that's true.
So for July 17th, 2024, from Marvel, we have Ultimate X-Men issue 5, The Incredible Hulk issue 14, The Spectacular Spider-Man issue 5, Star Wars issue 48, The Invincible Iron Man issue 20, The Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt issue 3, Blood Hunters issue 4, Dracula Blood Hunt issue 3, Scarlet Witch issue. Why the fuck do we need a Dracula Blood Hunt? Like, why? Why? Other than like you're trying like that's what 1, 2, 3.
I'm not a fan of
Blood Hunt books.
I know he's part of the Marvel
Universe. So that is $12 for just one event.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Not to mention all the other bloody books you got. Anyways.
Was that supposed to be a pun? That was a little too on the nose. Bloody books?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
You're better
intentional.
Than that,
honestly, it wasn't intentional. Spider-Woman issue 9, Aliens What If issue 5, Annihilation 2099 issue 3, and then we have the Immortal Thor Annual issue 1, written by Al Ewing with art by David Balderon.
Baldeon, I think.
Baldeon, thank you.
I think.
So make that $16 because we have X-Men Blood Hunt, Laura Kinney the Wolverine issue 1. Now, granted, this is written by Stephanie Phillips.
Yeah. Yep.
And Robert Gill, right? So, like, this is one of those things. Read the main line, pick and choose which ones you want to read. If there's an artist or a writer that you like, grab it. But I honestly, I just can't condone anyone spending $20 just for one series.
These
of books a month.
This one in Psylocke, I mean, I was interested in possibly the Wolverine one, but I was like, Laura Kinney in Psylocke, I'm very interested in checking those two out. And obviously I'm reading the Vengeance of the Moon Knight, so that's also a tie-in technically to all of this as well.
Right. But speaking of Stephanie Phillips, we have Phoenix issue 1, written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Alessandro Miracolo. She is Jean Grey. She is Phoenix. She saved the world. She brings death. One woman alone in space. Why not this is how it's written. Why? Oh, sorry. Not why. I can't read. Who not only must do what no one else can do. I love the Phoenix character. Stephanie Phillips is going to absolutely crush it. We have Namor, issue 1, written by Jason Aaron with art by Paul Davidson and Alex Lins. But
real quick though, I think this is worth highlighting. When it comes to Namor, it looks like this is going to be, at the end of this, it says, an epic tale that will redefine the King of the Seas in the manner of Jason Aaron's Punisher series. So just something to put on people's radar.
See, that I like, because his Punisher run was tremendous. Namor and Black Panther, I did not care for so much. But Daredevil, Woman Without Fear, issue 1, written by Erica Schultz with art by Michael Dowling, spinning out of Daredevil issue 11. So Elektra is the Woman Without Fear has been very prominent in the new Daredevil run, as she was very prominent in Chip's run with Daredevil. Love her, love this character. I got the Funko Pop, absolutely love it. This is a good week for Marvel #1s.
Yeah, you got that right. As for DC, we got Nightwing issue 116, Batman Superman's World's Finest issue 29, Superman issue 16, Wonder Woman issue 11, Titans issue 13, Catwoman 67, John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dead in America issue 7, Green Lantern War Journal issue 11. And then we got a first issue, Dark Knights of Steel. They're getting back on track here.
Let's go. Now, this is Tom Taylor and Jay Kristoff. Now,
So
Jay
Jay
Kristoff,
Kristoff.
I
Yes,
was going
Jay
to say,
Kristoff is the writer of the Nevernight series, the Nevernight Chronicles, which is the first title that the book that my wife shared with me. I actually used the first volume to
whose
propose
idea was
to her.
that?
This was your idea, 100%. Yep, it was a great idea, 1,000%.
Yep.
And then we've talked about the whole story ad nauseum, but it worked out really well. And Kristoff, he does a great job. I'm very excited to see what he does here.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with his work at all, but he seems, based on the genre of books that he writes, that he could tackle this world really well. My feeling is Kristoff is writing this with Tom Taylor sort of like going over the script with them, taking a look, maybe, offering some
I think you're
insight here,
absolutely right.
there. Right?
They actually writing buddies. Like I don't know. I don't know if they have a studio or if they just work, help each other out or whatever. But they had a relationship before this, so
Love that.
this should be
Love
really
that.
good. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then the artist
So,
on it is Terso Cons.
yeah,
So
not
not
familiar with the
familiar.
artist, but I love the Dark Knights of Steel. Like, we love the first few arcs, the initial run of that. Glad that it's coming back. It's a great concept,
Yeah.
fantastic concept. Exactly what I want. Like, I want more of. Like, take these characters and put them in,
Different worlds.
switch up their roles, right? Put
Yep.
them in different worlds. Like, give us new, unique stories. Give us twists on the characters, as I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
And I can't say that all that clearly. But from Image and Skybound, we have Redcoat issue 4, which I've kind of get back on. This book kind of lost me a little bit because it was I love a good historical fiction. This was getting a little too historical fictiony for me at points. But it is well. I gotta dive back in. It lost me a
Okay.
little bit in issue 2.
Okay.
But I'm willing to go back and give it another go. The Walking Dead Deluxe 93, Undiscovered Country issue 30. I feel like this book comes out like twice a year now. Scott Snyder, but it's an excellent story, right? It's an excellent story, but we know Scott's a very, very, very busy man. And that's putting it lightly. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue 308. Fish Flies, issue 7 by Jeff Lemire, who will be on the show one day. I will will it into existence. What's the Furthest Place from Here, issue 19. Rat City, issue 4. Napalm Lullaby, issue 5. Misery, issue 2. Go ahead, Nicholas. Do your thing.
Evil, issue 5.
Fucking gross. Remote Space, issue 2. I don't know why it grosses me out so much. The Weatherman, issue 7. Plastic, Death and Dolls, issue 2. I love this book. At the time, I didn't realize that it was sort of Plastic was a story to begin with. I have since told Rich Keefe about it. He is all caught up on it. He enjoyed it very much. So
Ooh, nice.
It is on Hoopla if you want to give the original Plastic a read. And then we have Rifters issue 2, and then a book, a number 1 from Image and or Skybound that piqued your interest, Nicholas.
This is actually Image and Top Cow, Witchblade issue 1. So we've all heard of. I'm assuming most of our listeners have heard of Witchblade, but for those who haven't, this is one of those original Image characters who came out when Image. I mean original. I mean original. Mark Silvestri's baby, and man, I am so excited to see them reintroduce this character, and they're handling it perfectly too, because I think it's been so long. So it's for people who loved the character back in the day, it's a chance to restart, but then for people who are new to the character, it's your chance to dive in. So Sarah Pazzini is back in an all-new origin story, a reimagining of the classic storyline. This high-octane supernatural thriller starts at the beginning with familiar characters and new story arcs. And what I'm also excited about too is this could mean the Darkness enters the mix. It's a character I've talked about on the show. That is a Silvestri character. Her and Witchblade crossover. This is written by Marguerite Bennett with art by Giuseppe Caforo. I'm very much excited to check this one out, Joe. And this also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Witchblade was a show for a hot minute back in the day, a live action show. I mean, I was a kid, like a little kid when that would have come out, but yeah, like this had a lot of buzz, and I expect initially it will, and I hope that it lives up to that hype.
Yeah, this will be a fun one. I never really read Witchblade. I mean, for me, when Image first came out, like it was Spawn. That was the one I sort of gravitated to. I know there was the Max, and there was all these these titles, but for some reason, Witchblade was never one that I read.
Right.
So
no, I hear that.
This would be fun to check out.
Yeah. We got a few. Why don't you dig? Because why don't you dig into these next couple here for us?
Okay, people are sick of hearing you talk, anyways. From Boom, we have Briar issue 7, Man's Best issue 5, I Heart Skull Crusher issue 5, Blow Away issue 4, which you stole from me, you snake. Lawful issue 2, which I read the first issue, loved. I believe I called dibs on that one.
You did.
Yep. Under Heist issue 5, and then from Dark Horse, we have Into the Unbeing issue 2, which the first one was I believe Hayden Sherman's drawing this one.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, you really like that one, yeah.
Yeah. This was one that it was a bit of a slow burn, and then bang, like the last third of the issue
rattled me. Yeah. So that one's all you. I'm gonna tell you right now, that one's all you.
The last third of the first issue absolutely was just like, whoa. Usagi Yojimbo the Crow, issue 4. The Witcho Corvo Bianco, issue 3. Heart Piercer, issue 3. Which I talked about the first issue. I did the video on it. You still have dibs on it, right? Yes.
Yep.
Okay, good.
We've sorted through all of that.
Yes. Making sure. It's called making sure I don't screw up again. Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, issue 5, and then a book again that has piqued your interest. Nicholas, tell the people.
Yeah, I just want to be quick on this one. I just want to make sure we highlighted it. Paranoid Gardens, issue 1. Gerard Way, Sean Simon, Chris Weston, and Gerard Way. This is not his first foray into comics, but this, like, so with that being the case, like, I wanted to highlight that. Also, the elevator pitch on this is ER meets Doctor Who on acid. So combine that with Gerard Way being in the mix. I'm interested in checking this one out. Kind of one that was like off the beaten path for me. But yeah, so Paranoid Gardens issue 1.
A little on the nose though, right? ER meets Doctor Who. I mean,
I guess
doctors, right?
And by the way, for those who aren't maybe familiar, like Gerard Way is what is the lead vocalist for My Chemical Romance, and then I don't know if he's writer or co-writer for the Umbrella Academy. So like he knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's
gotcha.
Yeah, he's done some stuff. But let's see. I'll take us through the rest of these too, Joe. If you want to take a breath again, IDW. We got Sonic the Hedgehog issue 71, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures issue 15, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan issue 5, Star Trek issue 22, another TMNT title, Sourcebook issue 4, Mad Cave. We got Mug Shots issue 2, The Mammoth issue 2, and then another book that I think is going to really surprise people is The Last Wardens issue 1, which you got an early look at that, did a whole video on it and everything, right?
Yeah. Did you read it?
No. You called dibs on it.
Did I call dibs? Yeah,
yes.
It's excellent.
Yeah,
absolutely excellent. This was like, it was everything you want, sort of in that sort of horror sci-fi, like what the fuck is going on sort of realm. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, some really cool stuff from Mad Cave. When I saw the pitch on it, I was like, oh man, like I'm gonna give this to Joe. And the writer on this, two writers on this rather, Amit Tischler, Elliot Spurl, and then the artist is Rui Silveira. Some really cool stuff there. Something that I'm gonna have to sit and wait on. From Titan, we got Life is Strange, Forget Me Not issue 4, Bitmap issue 5, High on Life issue 2, and then we got Elric the Necromancer issue 1, written by Julian Blondell, and then art by John-Luc Cano. For those who are familiar, this is based on Michael Moorcock's original stories. So I never...
What?
Michael Moorcock? Is that not how you say his name? I understand. I get it. But like, I'm not 5 years old. Like, so it doesn't. I don't find it funny.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Anyways, from Dynamite, we got Thundercats issue 6, Red Sonja issue 12, Fire and Ice issue 5, And then we got Powerpuff Girls issue 1 by Kelly Thompson with art by Paulina Guneshow. But the synopsis for this was just
Gonchow.
Oh, that's probably it. The synopsis for this was just basically like the intro, like for the sugar, spice, everything nice. These are the ingredients. Show like that whole intro from Powerpuff Girls. That was the synopsis. That was it. So I don't know exactly what we're getting here, but interesting to see the Powerpuff Girls thrown in the mix. Dynamite's been doing like a lot of this throwback stuff. Thundercats. Powerpuff Girls isn't as far of a throwback, but that's my generation. So they're making some interesting moves over there.
Something tells me Kelly Thompson's going to have a field day with that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. All right, we got the week of the 24th, Joe. What do we got?
Okay. How many? Let's. I want you to make a ticker for how many blood hunt stories there are. We have Ultimate Black Panther issue 6, Darth Vader issue 48, Vengeance of the Moon Knight issue 7, Deadpool and Wolverine World War III issue 3, Captain America issue 11, Wolverine Blood Hunt issue 4, Strange Academy Blood Hunt issue 3, Venom Separation Anxiety issue 3, Venomverse Reborn issue 2, Annihilation 2099 issue 4. Could it be? Oh, nope, not yet. Nope, that's it. That's it. That's it.
There's only 2.
We have way to make me look stupid, Marvel fucking assholes. NYX issue 1 written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly with art by Francesco Mortarino, and Marvo Zero issue 1, which collects Free Comic Book Day 2024 Blood Hunt X-Men issue 1, Free Comic Book Day 2024 Ultimate Ultimate Universe Spider-Man issue 1.
Yeah, and then Nyx issue 1, that is like an X-Men title, but it's like focused on Miss Marvel, Wolverine, Nyx, like it's a bunch of different characters. I'm sorry, Laura Kinney Wolverine, excuse me, not Logan Wolverine. That's under the Uncanny title, if I'm not mistaken. Looking over at DC, we got Detective Comics 1087, Green Arrow issue 14, The Flash issue 11, Harley Quinn 42, Batman the Brave and the Bold 15, Penguin issue 12, Power Girl issue 11, Blue Beetle issue 11, Batman Dark Age issue 4, Zatanna Bringing Down the House issue 2, Batman 89 Echoes issue 4, Absolute Power Task Force 7 issue 2. So this is the first week where we get 2 Absolute Power titles because we're also getting Absolute Power Origins issue 1. This is by John Ridley and Althea Martinez. And this is going to be focused on the untold story of what led Amanda Waller to form the Trinity of Evil. So again, we're not getting overwhelmed by the amount of Absolute Power titles, but for this event. But this is there are 2 titles this week. But that's not the only number one. This another massive first issue that's coming out in July, Joe. That obviously is very much on your radar.
Yeah, this one. I knew at some point this was going to be coming out, but I didn't know when. And it certainly wasn't on my radar. And that is Nice House by the Sea, issue 1, written by James Tynan IV, with art by Alvaro Martinez Bueno. The highly anticipated sequel to the No one who was invited to the house knew Max, but she knew each and every one of them. Masters of their fields, titans of industry and knowledge, they all represented the best and brightest of humanity. So when Max whispered to each of them the truth of what they deserved to be saved from disaster, to carry on the flame of civilization in a paradise built just for them, they all leaped at the chance. Why not? So very similar premise to the Nice House on the Lake. I can't wait to see how this one is different. I can't wait to meet the cast of characters in this one and just see how screwed up this one gets.
Yeah, it's I'm excited for it too. Nice House on the Lake obviously is freaking kick-ass. What about from Image and Skybound for the week of the 24th?
Void Rivals issue 11. Glad you asked. King Spawn issue 36. Monstrous issue 53. Rook Exodus issue 4. The Bird Book, The Sacrificers issue 10. Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives issue 4. Feral issue 5. I can't wait for that issue.
The final issue of the first arc of Feral.
Yeah. And then the finale of No One issue 10. The Six Fingers issue 5. The finale to that series, written by Ram V and Dan Waters. Local Man issue 12, Something Epic issue 12, Blood Squared 7 issue 3, Self Help issue 2, and Spawn Kills Every Spawn issue 1, written by John Layman with art by Rob Duenas.
Yeah, I'm gonna be checking that out. By the way, did you say Blood Square 7 before? Because it's definitely Blood Squad 7. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
probably did. And I probably wrote it down that way,
okay, I'm sorry,
because
I
I'm
could
a
let that one
big
go.
dumb idiot.
Well,
So,
I wouldn't go that
yeah.
far.
We have, so you wrote Supermassive 1. I know that's how it's titled, but it's really Supermassive 2024 issue 1, because these
Yep,
sort of this big sort of annual of
absolutely.
sorts, if you will. Written by Kyle Higgins, Ryan Parrott, Matt Groom, and Misty Flores, with art by Stefano Simeone. This is what we look for each and every year now that the
Mhm,
Massiverse has become such a massive thing. This is like, what I love about this is that all these characters all sort of, they, what's great about the Massiverse is you have all these characters in there. They don't necessarily intertwine with each other, and you don't have to have read one to read the other, right? You can read them all as
mhm,
standalone things. But what the Supermassive does is it gives us an opportunity to have some of these characters interact with each other
mhm.
and set up plot points for their individual stories going forward. So always a great book to look forward to. This is the third year in a row now.
Yeah, this I will say this seems like the only one where it's like mandatory reading for Radiant Black readers,
Mm.
based on the way that they're talking about it, because it's centered around the Catalyst War. If you're not a Radiant Black reader, then it seems like it's not necessary. But again, like we love everything Massiverse, so we highly recommend it. This is going to have Shift, Radiant Red, Rogue Sun, the Dead Lucky, Inferno War Red, and then of course Radiant Black, all in the mix here. And it's 50-page one shot, so this should kick ass.
We also have Lego Ninjago Shatterspin issue 1, Impact Winter Evenfall issue 1, and from Boom Studios, we have Something Is Killing the Children issue 39. Been so good. I love this arc. This is of this sort of single issue, single stories. It's been
Hmm.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 122, Uncanny Valley Nicholas issue 4, and
Hmm.
Orcs the Grift. We have Berserker, A Face Full of Bullets, issue 1, written by Jason Aaron with art by Francesco Mana. Now, Jason Aaron writing a Berserker story, that I could be in on,
Mm.
right? I'm still like, people can love Berserker.
They do, yeah. Again, like this is one of those things where it's like I feel like I gotta go back and check it out. Maybe just like reading it as a trade will make a difference. But
That might make the world of difference, but man, it was like, okay, we get it, move on. It was tough.
mm,
We have Fence Challengers, long shot issue 1, and then we have Hello Darkness, my old friend,
yes,
uh,
and
issue 1.
this is a horror anthology that's gonna. This seems like it's gonna be an ongoing thing. So I wanted to make sure we highlighted it. This actually got announced when we were at C2E2. In this, I think just in this first issue, we have Garth Ennis, Becky Cloonan, James Tynan the Fourth, Werther Deladera, Brian Azzarello, Vanessa Ardell Ray, like a ton of known creators going to be featured in this. So something that I'll be checking out. And I'm excited too to see if we get like some new creators thrown in the mix as well. But yeah, like this has a lot of potential. From Dark Horse, we got Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures issue 8, Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures Saber for Hire issue 4, Masters of the Universe Revolution issue 3, Minor Threats: The Fastest Way Down issue 4, Lunar Lodge issue 2, The Writer issue 2, Resident Alien, The Book of Life, issue 2, Joy Operations 2, issue 2, and then we got Nemesis Rogues Gallery, issue 1, the start of the Mark Millar era over at Dark Horse. The artist on this title is going to be Valerio. Oh, geez. I'm getting them all today.
Giant Giordano.
Oh, Gian Giordano. Either way,
Oh, maybe
but
Gian
sorry,
Giordano.
sorry,
Yeah, that
Valerio, if
sounds
we
good.
got it wrong. But yeah, so Millar World moved over to Dark Horse, so this is where things are going to start over with Nemesis. From AWA, we got the final issue of You and I, which you have been raving about. Can't wait to hear you talk
Mm-hmm.
about it on the
Who?
show. Uh, see, it's fun to do it, isn't it? Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Volume 2, Issue 4, friend of the show, Colin Bunn. Star Trek Define, Issue 17, Godzilla Skate or Die, Issue 2, And then Joe, again, like, okay, so X-Men, highly anticipated. This might be the most highly anticipated title of the month too.
Yeah, I forgot this is coming out this
So did
month
I.
too. Yeah, like holy smokes. Yes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 1. Jason Aaron. Art by Joel Jones. Yes, injected into my veins. I can't wait for this. I can't wait to see. I mean, we got a taste of what Jason Aaron is capable of with our
Yeah.
favorite mutant turtles. I can't wait to read this and see where it goes. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna kick ass. And this one's it seems like I think the first 4 issues are gonna be each one's gonna be focused on an individual turtle. This one is gonna be focused on Raphael, and he is in prison. So, like, I mean, what I'm in 100%. Moving on, we have Mad Cave, Dick Tracy issue 3, When the Blood Has Dried issue 4, and then we got the first issue of Flash Gordon. This is by Jeremy Adams and Will Conrad. I'm at least going to be checking this out. I'm not calling dibs on it if you want to check it out as well. But from Distillery, we have
Flash. Da-da.
Yeah. So, okay, real quick. You know how Shime tends to pick on my stats from my college career? He cites specific numbers. They are from, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. That is from one specific year. Okay. That was my worst year, like, ever. And I always chalk it up to I picked a walkout song that just very much deviated from me, and it was the Flash Gordon theme song. So I needless to say, Flash Gordon and we have a mixed past. Anyways, from Distillery, we have.
I thought Tom Gordon slighted you in some way.
Nope. It's just nope. It is totally That honestly, yeah, it's fair. White Boat issue 2. So that's by Scott Snyder. You have dibs on that one, and then I am calling dibs on this other Distillery title, The Big Burn issue 1 by Joe Henderson and Lee Garabet. I'll just give a quick read here. Owen and Carly are the Bonnie and Clyde of the 21st century, a smooth, slick duo who pull off impossible heists and have the time of their lives doing it. But when justice finally catches up to them, they think it's all over until the devil himself offers them a deal, their freedom for their very souls. Honestly, dude, I saw the cover for this and I was like, I want this. I don't want Joe taking this from me. It just looks too damn cool. Let's see. Vault, we got Barbaric Born in Blood issue 3. And then this is where we get more Deathstalker. Barbaric versus Deathstalker issue 1. This is a one-shot. Tim Seeley and Steven Kostansky are writing this, and Nathan Gooden, who I believe is the artist on Barbaric, they are doing an oversized one-shot with these characters. I've talked a lot now. Would you like to take these last few before we get to the week of the 31st?
Yeah, why not? Why not? So from Titan, we have Conan the Barbarian, issue 13. Doctor Who, the 15th Doctor, issue 2. Rivers of London, Stray Cat Blues. From Ablaze, we have Almost Dead, issue 3. From Dynamite, we have Army of Darkness Forever, issue 10. Gargoyles Quest, issue 3. Darkwing Duck, Justice Duck. Hey, did you notice something?
What?
We didn't say Negaduck once this month. Smoke too soon?
I think you did. I think we did say it.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we did. Dude, it's out this week.
No way.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, it's in the what's new section.
I meant for July.
I
meant for the month of July.
No, you spoke too soon.
Oh, god damn it. Okay.
You're wrong. We haven't said it yet for this month. Not yet.
Yeah. It's not like Jerry Seinfeld there. Hey, the month of July. Come on. Week 5.
That was good.
7/31/24 from Marvel. We have Ultimate Spider-Man issue 7. We have The Amazing Spider-Man issue 54. We have The Fantastic Four issue 22. We have The Immortal Thor issue 13. We have Blood Hunt issue 5. We have Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider issue 3. Midnight Suns Blood Hunt issue 3. Wolverine issue 3. Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin issue 4. Star Wars Darth Maul Black, White, and Red issue 3. X-Men Heir to Apocalypse issue 4. Captain Marvel issue 10. Annihilation 2099 issue 5. And then the number ones, there are a few of them. We have X-Force issue 1. Mm-hmm. We have Black Widow Venomous issue 1, written by Erica Schultz with art by Luciano Vecchio. We have Marvel and Disney What If? Ooh, Donald Duck becomes Wolverine. Don't don't say any more. Written by Luca Barbary with art by Giada Presinoto. We got an Italian team here tackling Donald Duck and Wolverine. I can get behind that. And then we have Miss Marvel Annual Issue 1. Nicholas, please do tell the fine people what is out that week from DC Comics.
Yes, on the 31st of July, you'll be getting Batman Offworld Issue 5, Red Hood the Hill Issue 6, Absolute Power Task Force 7 Issue 3, and then a Super Pet Special, Bite Identity Crisis Issue 1. So this will be centered around Bitewing, which is Nightwing and Batgirl's dog that Nightwing had adopted originally. You got a mix of writers and artists who are going to be in on this, including friends of the show, Kyle Starks and Tony Fleece, who know a thing or two about writing comics centered around pets.
Yeah, that can be very interesting. So from Image and Skybound, we have the return of Saga.
Yeah,
Saga 67. Mini hiatus there. Looking for that. Spawn issue 355. The Department of Truth issue 24. The Scorched issue 32. Sam and Twitch Case Files issue 5. Grommets issue 3.
Hell yeah.
Knights issue 9. The Forged issue 9. Savage Dragon issue 272. Per Evil issue 6. Drawing Blood issue 4. Lore Remastered issue 2. And Nicholas, what do we have from Boom?
I'm sorry.
Right.
House of
you
House
are
of
a disturbing human being.
This is true. House of Slaughter issue 25, Grimm issue 19, Ghost Lore issue 12, and then we got Berserker Fallen Empire Pen and Ink issue 1, Firefly versus issue 1, which is written by friend of the show Ryan Parrott with art by Lalit Kumar Shmara. And then we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Darkest Hour issue 1. This is written by Melissa Flores and Simona DGM Felice, which that is the same team that's been doing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but they're bringing an end to everything on their story with this individual title. Issue 122 is the final one of the main line. From Dark Horse, we got The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, issue 11, Masterpiece, issue 6, William of Newbury, issue 3, Anansi Boys, issue 3, Critical Role, Vox Machina Origins, issue 3, The Butcher's Boy, issue 3, so freaking good. Operation Sunshine, Already Dead, issue 4, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, issue 6, St. John, issue 3, and then we got Assassin's Creed Mirage, A Soar of Eagles, issue 1. This is by Michael Yvonne Oming and Mirko Kolak. What do we got from IDW, Joe?
You weren't kidding, by the way. Butcher's Boy is fantastic.
Wait, what? What?
Got you.
It's funny because you totally do that.
From IDW, we have Sonic the Hedgehog issue 71, TMNT Black, White, and Green issue 3. I've had something in my eye for the past 40 minutes, and it's driving.
Oh, I was wondering if you had a headache. That's why I was reading like quite a few times, reading extra. Do you want me to take over?
No. My Little Pony Set Your Sail issue 4. Godzilla Rivals versus Manda issue 1, written and drawn by Jake Lawrence. From Mad Cave, we have Nottingham issue 14, Sanction issue 3, Galaxy of Madness issue 2, and from Vault, Nicholas, we have a number 1 that has tickled your fancy.
Yes, Something Crawled Out issue 1. That's a great title.
Something wicked crawled out and screaming. All yours.
Yeah.
All yours.
Written by M. Sun with art by Kaz Madcurst Periano, which I don't know if that's a stage name or what, but Madcurst is quite the middle name. I don't need to say more than the title right now. Obviously, we've covered a lot of ground. I just wanted to draw people's attention from Vault. Something Crawled Out issue 1. From Titan, we got Rivers of London, Stray Cat Blues issue 4, and then Blade Runner Tokyo Nexus issue 1, written by Mello Brown and Kiana Shore with art by Rodolfo Taibo, and then from Dynamite to round out this solicit, we have Lilo and Stitch issue 5, Darkwing Duck, Negaduck issue 7, Disney Villains Cruella de Vil issue 5, and King Kong: The Great War issue 6. And that, my friends, is a Solicit. Honestly, Joe, I was going to save this for off air, but I feel like we should release what's new and the Solicit separately this week because this is so friggin' long. This is
You know
insane.
Might not be a bad idea.
Yeah,
Honestly, might not be to do this on Wednesday and then drop the Solicit on Friday.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
That's probably that's probably this is
hour and 4, our longest one ever.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you have a 5-week month and we're doing a what's new on top of that. So
6 weeks of comics.
Yes, so we got you all covered though throughout the month because we're not doing a what's new in July. We're going to be doing Christmas in July while Joe and I are traveling all across the globe, which means we got Friar side chats up the wazoo. We are planning to do an August Solicit though later in the month. Make sure you subscribe to one of our audio channels. Joe, anything else before we go?
Okay.
Nice you look like you were fixing to say something, so I just wanted to make sure. So until next time, whenever the fuck that is, stay sexy.
Yeah, you know it, baby.